friends, it's Sarah at Crochet with Coffee. Today I am making this stool cover. It is made up of the granny cluster stitch and like the granny stitch, but it is made to be a rectangle instead of a square. So I'm going to show you how to make this. And it doesn't just need to be for like a stool cover like this. If you continue to go larger, you could make a blanket out of this too. You could make like rectangle or granny rectangles and make a blanket like that, or you could make one huge blanket out of one of these if you just keep going. So I'm going to show you the technique of how to do this, but you can use it for anything. I just used it for a stool cover. So I found this stool at the thrift store. I loved a thrift. So that was the fabric underneath, and on the top, I can show you, it was a little worn. You see how it's all worn and sad? So I loved this, but I wanted to cover it, and it matches my chair. I was so excited I had the colors to match my chair. So that's what I wanted to make as a cover for this, because I like to sit there with my feet up. So that is what I'm going to show you how to make today, and use it however you want to use it. This is just what I did with it. So, and if you want to end up covering something like this, I did something super simple for the back side of this. So you can see I did it the same color, so you can't really see it, but I did a chain that reaches all the way around this, and I just looped it back and forth between the clusters and then tied it in a little knot after I pulled it around and I cinched it tight. And then I just tied it in a knot there, and I just tuck it under and nobody's gonna see it. So that is how I covered that. So let's get started. Okay, so today, with covering that footstool, is just showing you, this is the chair I want to match it to. And this is the chair I use for recording in. It is a really comfy chair. It does squeak though, so when you hear my videos squeak in the background, this is the chair that's doing that. All right, I have my colors are mustard. These are all Big Twist. I've got caramel, cinnamon, toffee, rust, and then this is cream. All right, so these colors are the ones I feel like go with this fabric pretty well. I'm going to do my base in this color because I think it goes with this pretty well. And then I've got my yellow, I've got my orange there, my dark orange, my brown, and then I've got some some tan beige colors that I think are going to be good with that one. So that is what I'm going to cover my footrest with, and I'm going to start with this one and see how it goes. All right, so my yarn that I'm using calls for a 5mm hook, but I'm going to go down the size and work with a 4.5 because I want these squares and granny clusters to be little bit tighter than usual, just because it is for a step stool that's going to get a lot of use. All right, we are going to get started on our granny rectangle to cover that step stool that I have. So the first thing that we're going to start with is a chain. If you need help with any beginner stitches, I do have a playlist for first time beginners. I'm going to link that up here for you so that you can go visit that if you need to. That covers all of the beginner steps for you. So I'm going to do a slip knot and I'm going to chain 10. All right, after chaining 10, I'm going to skip my first 3 chains there, and I am going to work in my 4th chain from the hook. I'm going to put 2 double crochets in that chain. All right, now I'm going to chain 2 for my corner, and I'm going to work 3 more double crochets into that same chain space. All right, for my next step, I'm going to skip 2 chains and work in the 3rd, and that's going to be 3 double crochets into that space. And I am trying to keep my work relatively tight just because this is a project that is going to be used and stepped on, and I want to make sure that the stitches are nice and snug. All right, so then I am going to skip another 2 stitches, and in my last stitch, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. Chain 2 for my corner, and 3 more double crochets in that same chain. All right, so you can see the structure of this starting. So I have my first side over here, my short side, and then I have my long side here, and then my short side here. So we're going to build the other long side. So I'm going to chain 2 for my corner and work into that same chain. And then I'm going to work in the same chain that I worked in for this cluster. So 3 more doubles into that space. Right? And then we have one more to work in this chain over here that we started in. So I'm going to do 3 more doubles in there to complete this side. And I'm going to connect this side to this side. You can do that multiple ways. I'm just going to chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3. The reason I do one chain instead of two for the corners that I connect is I think that it gives the corner more of a uniform corner size. So if I chain two, my corner would be a little bit more open than the one over here. That's why I do one. But if you want to do two, you can. It's totally up to you. If you have a different join that you like to do, you can also do that. All right, so I have chained one and I'm going to cut my yarn. And remember to leave a long enough tail to weave in your ends. Pull it all the way through, pull that chain tight, and I've got the first round there. I think I'm just going to go with my lighter orange color here. So I'm going to do a slip knot, and I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. And you can start in any corner that you want to. So standing double crochet, I have my slip knot. I'm wrapping my yarn around my hook, putting it into the space I want to start in, pulling up a loop. I'm going to hold my tail with my other hand here, and I'm going to wrap around, bring through two, wrap around, bring through two. That is a standing double crochet. So then it looks just like a regular double crochet, but this side is not attached to another double. All right, so we're just going to work this like a normal granny square. So it's just going to work your sides. You're going to work in all your spaces and all your corners, just like you would a regular granny square. It's just longer on one side than the other. But the technique is exactly the same. If you need help with granny squares, I do have a tutorial up here that you can visit for that. And we are just going to keep going around our square. I'm going to come back when I'm changing colors so you can see what colors I'm choosing next. All right, so I'm going to choose, I think the next one I'm going to pick is this cinnamon color. So I had the cream, then I had the rust. This is the rust, and now I'm going to do the cinnamon. Oh, I'm sorry, this is toffee. And the rows are just the three double crochets in each cluster or in each space, and three double crochets, chain two, three double crochets in the corner, and that's how you go around this piece. Oh, I did say I was going to do every other color too, didn't I? All right, so I guess I'm going to do my cream color next. All right, so starting the same, I'm going to work with my cream. And after this color, I am going to do my toffee color. This is how it's turning out so far. I am going to continue going with my cream every other row and just see what colors look best for each row. And I will show you what I have when I'm all done.